Hi, Fire Team. This is Captain Stephanie Lincoln, founder of Fire Team Whiskey and all things wellness expert, but especially nutritional health and fitness. So I just read an article that I just published on our blog, but I thought it was such an important topic that I was going to go ahead and cover it live as well. But if you go to fireteamwhiskey.com and go to our blog tab, then you will see this article with all the citations there and the links to the products that I'm going to talk about. But I wanted to come to you live about this issue of detox. So it is imperatively important as a part of your health and wellness journey to work on detox. And when you hear the word detox, it sounds very woo-woo, right? It sounds very like, oh, what am I going to do? Drink a bunch of veggie juices? I don't talk about drinking veggie juices at all in this talk, so be warned. That's not what I'm talking about. So it's just a really sad reality, and I'm going to read from my notes here, so I'm going to go back and forth, that heavy metals and endocrine disrupting chemicals are present in our modern day environment. Basically, we are surrounded by toxins. We have trashed this planet, and the things that we live with and live around and experience and are exposed to and even consume in our bodies and put on our bodies all have toxins in them. So it definitely impacts our health in an extremely negative way. I'm going to talk about some of these ways here in a minute, but it's so terribly impactful at this point that the estimate is, if we continue to be exposed to the toxins at the levels and in the increasing levels than we are as human beings, by the year 2045, the human sperm count will reach 0. And no, this is not a conspiracy theory. Human sperm counts have been going down significantly over and increasingly significantly over the last decades. And this is the reason why. Because of the toxin load that our bodies cannot handle. And we're going to reach a critical point where we literally will not be able to reproduce because of this issue. It's happening, it's real, and I don't see any way that it's going to be avoided because nobody gives a shit. So here we go, you know. I mean, it is what it is. Yeah, we just have to deal with the reality. So if you plan on having a baby after 2045, it's not going to happen. So you better freeze some sperm and some eggs now while you can, because it's not happening after that. Toxins disrupt and wreak havoc on everything in our bodies. Our hormones, our metabolism, creates systemic inflammation. It inflames our brain, and it inflames and disrupts our gut health. Good news is that you can reduce your toxin load with very simple things, and this is something that you can do starting today, but you're going to need to incrementally work on over time. I definitely suggest, if you have any kind of autoimmune disorder, if you have allergies, if you have skin conditions, or if you have cancer, these things should already be happening. I mean, like yesterday. So it requires a drastic change in your lifestyle in order to mitigate the toxin effects on your chronic disease. And, by the way, probably part of why you have that chronic disease. So 10 things to do. And I've been doing these things over the last pretty much 10 years. Not perfect, but we're as close as we can be. There are a few things once we kind of get settled and out of our RV, traveling full time. I'm going to be implementing even more so wherever we get settled down in. But I think we've gotten it to a place where it's as much as we can do, but definitely when we move onto our next stage of life, it's going to be even better. So I'm definitely looking forward to that. But it does take some effort and time to do these things. But it is imperative that you work on this. This isn't just about, oh, I eat healthy, oh, I work out. You've got to do these things too. It is already been recognized as one of the leading issues, one of the leading causes of chronic health issues is our toxin load. So, first things first, you need to transition all of your cleaning, personal care products, makeup products, cosmetics to toxin-free versions. How to find those toxin-free versions of everything? Download the EWG app, ewg.org. Download their app. I have it on my phone. So if I have to buy anything like in a store, which I normally don't anyway, I usually order these products. But if I'm kind of out of something and we run out and I can't wait, then I go to the store with my EWG app on my phone and I scan the item and make sure that it is EWG approved. EWG is the Environmental Working Group, and they have all sorts of really amazing tips, but most importantly, they list products by what they feel like is most toxic to least toxic, and the approved items have been reviewed by the EWG, by their people, and receive the all check marks there on how least toxic it is. So it's a non-toxic product if EWG gives it the thumbs up. Use that. Here's some reasons why. So versions of these products: personal care, cleaning, makeup, cosmetics. All of these products contain compounds that are actually illegal in most countries, by the way. So other countries are way ahead of the game on this. They've already banned these products, but we don't give a shit apparently about, poisoning ourselves with these things. So we don't have any kind of rules in place as far as these companies putting these toxins in their products. Phthalates, parabens, triclosan, heavy metals, even gluten. So even products have gluten in them, which all have endocrine disrupting irritant effects. Most of these products are put in plastic, so microplastics will be in those products as well. So especially if there's things like toothbrush that are, you're putting the toothpaste in your mouth, it's going down into your system, you are consuming some of it. You're using a plastic toothbrush to brush your teeth, you are getting microplastics in your body. These are foreign objects that are going into your digestive system. And don't think that they're just innocuous and they're doing nothing. They are. So, and nowadays, this was so much harder 10 years ago, guys. You're so lucky if you're starting this journey now. It's so much easier. It's really easy now. There are so many great products, and more companies are starting because they're starting to get the memo that people are interested in buying these products. So you just switch over when you run out. If you're like, oh, it's too expensive, okay, when you run out of Crest, that you're using now, the toothpaste, switch over to the Primal Life products, right? So Primal Life, and if you go to the blog post, the link will be right there. Also drop it in the comments right below this video. Primal Life is an all toxin-free personal care product line that I use. Especially, I use their bamboo toothbrushes, not plastic. They have bamboo plastic-free tooth floss. They also have toxin-free toothpaste made from recycled materials, and they're also in some of the I use the tooth powders, and they're in glass jars. Plastic-free. So there you go, Primal Life. They also make deodorants, they make lotions, they make all sorts of stuff. So all of their products are toxin-free. I have a couple of their night serums for skin. Fatco. Fatco is an awesome line that I love. They make toxin-free, fat-based personal care products. I personally use their body bars, their soap, what else do I use? Their lotions, their face lotions, their body lotions, and what else their face wash is awesome. Their oil-based face wash, It's amazing. It's perfect for removing makeup. I mean, it's magical. All fat-based and essential oil. That's all it's made out of. Plastic-free packaging. So, Beauty Counter is who I use for clean cosmetics. They use none of the banned ingredients across the board, so they're used internationally as well. So that's who I use. And then doTERRA for essential oil-based products, especially cleaning products. I use their dish soap, their laundry detergent, their hand washing soap, and then diffuse essential oils to take place of any like candles or smell goody stuff. Like I just have like a spray for like the dogs, blankets with just the essential oils, doTERRA essential oils in it, and water. And then you just spray it, and it's a beautiful toxin-free way to kind of freshen up the scent of a room. So those are who I use. And yeah, are they a little bit more expensive? Yes, but it's worth the swap out, and especially the essential oil-based products, because usually they're just like they just have like the concentrate, and then you just add water. So like it's so much cheaper, when you're doing it like that. But it's worth, getting the toxins out of your life, especially in the personal care products, right? You're putting this stuff on your skin, guys. Your skin absorbs everything. So we just pretend like we can use these like perfumes and lotions and shampoos and with all these phthalates and parabens in them, which we know cause cancer, and we just use them. Oh, shaving cream is another big one. That's a big toxic thing that people use. Proven to cause cancer. Deodorants with the aluminums. You have to switch over. It's just there's no brainer. I don't care if it costs $1 or $2 more. It's going to save your life. It's definitely going to improve your health. All right, number 2, store and heat all foods in glass or stainless steel containers or iron containers. Do not use non-stick pans or plastics. All right, so plastic containers, again, I already talked about the microplastics, but they also have endocrine disruptors such as BPA. Also, BPA-free products are not immune to endocrine disruptor status because they still have similar bisophenol compounds, such as BPEs or BPSs. So you'll see BPA-free, but that doesn't mean it doesn't have BPE or BPS, because those two things are not banned, and those are toxic. So that's basically what they do, is they just replace those with that. These chemicals transfer right into food and microplastics, because plastic breaks down over time. So anything that's contained in plastics, you're getting microplastics, and if you're consuming those products, they're going into your body. Use glass, to store, invest in a good, storage system where you're using glass, like for your leftovers or pantry items. Also, water bottles. Stop drinking out of your plastic water bottles. Use aluminum. Use glass. And then replace your nonstick pans. Throw that shit away. They're super toxic. And use a good old-fashioned iron skillet. Right? And there's a bonus with iron skillets, because you actually get natural iron and minerals from the iron skillets, which is super healthy for you. All right, number 3, limit exposure to air pollution and get fresh air. What a concept. Our air is killing us too. If you do go for runs or cycling, avoid doing this on main roads, where you're just sucking up all that carbon dioxide or monoxide. Lots of heavy metals and chemicals are on roads too, busy roads, so you're just being exposed to that as well. So try and, if you're going to go for a run or a bike ride, try to go to like a green space where some of those toxins are reduced. And spend your weekends in green spaces, getting fresh air, it's around trees and nature. So you're getting, the ionized and filtered, fresh air from being around all of those plants and trees and away from, busy cities. Number 4, install a water filter. This is an absolute must, especially if you're on a city water system. Ugh. So this, we already know, they chlorinate the hell out of that water, which destroys your gut bacteria. So there you go. I mean, it's just, anytime you drink tap water in a city system, you're drinking chlorine. So that destroys your gut bacteria, and we know what that does. And even with, they approve, and it's a, less toxin load, there's still toxins in there. It's just, they said the least damaging as possible. There's still lead. There's still prescription medications. There's still viruses. There's still hormones. There's still all this shit in tap water systems. Please don't ever drink tap water. I mean, that's terrible. You need to have a good filtration system installed. They do those under the sink. They can put, shower heads in. I recommend reverse osmosis. They can install those under your kitchen sink, so you're using this for cooking and drinking water. If you can't afford that, then tabletop versions are fairly affordable. And then I put the link to the one that I use, because we're in an RV, so we just use a reverse osmosis system for our drinking and our food preparation water, and it's a tabletop version. So yes, it's kind of a pain in the ass that we have to cycle our water constantly all day, but we're drinking the cleanest water that we possibly can, because otherwise we're drinking straight from the tap. And wherever we are, based on, I don't know where, we're in Tucson right now, so we would be on city water, so we'd be drinking city water. And no, a Berkey and no, a Brita is not enough. No. They only take out certain toxins. They don't take out all of them. Reverse osmosis takes out all of them. Use natural air fresheners and perfumes. So if you like your scented stuff, which I don't like, because I'm super sensitive to smells, use essential oil based, rollers. You can, doTERRA has great essential oil based rollers for perfume and cologne replacements. If you use those plug-in scented bullshit, toxins, throw those away. Those are horrible. Candles, those are horrible. Use the diffusers for essential oils. I do have to give you a warning on that, though. If you're big into those and you're going to have a lot of them, or you're going to use them a lot, and you have animals, you need to look up safe essential oils for pets, because if you're diffusing them in the air, they're inhaling them too, and some of these essential oils from specific plants can be toxic to animals. So I only use safe essential oils for our diffuser. Okay, so make sure all you got to do is Google that. Lemongrass is a safe one. Lavender's a safe one. There's a few grasses. I think citruses are okay, but there's a lot that are not, so you need to look that up. Number 6, consume organic produce, grass-fed, free-range, wild-caught as much as possible. Produce is obvious. Chemicals from all the pollutants, the pesticides, all that stuff, all the stuff used in the water supply. Remember, your plants are watered with toxic water. There you go. So lots of toxin exposure issues when it comes to produce. Even if it's organic, you need to wash it. Okay, and I would definitely invest in a specific produce wash instead of rinsing with water, just water. Also, meats, grass-fed beef. If you're chicken and pork, free range is the term, and wild caught for fish, because you would be avoiding the byproducts of toxic foods, to include plastic. Yes, these animals are fed plastics in our normal conventional animal feed systems, and they're fed corn and soy, which are treated with glyphosate, yes, a really extremely toxic pesticide that's going the animals feed, that's being grown, and then it's being consumed by the animals. They're also being treated with drugs to make them fatter, and they're being treated with drugs to fight off the diseases common in conventional agricultural systems. So, as I say, you are what you ate. So if the animal you're eating ate that shit, that means it's getting into your body too, because they ate it, it's put into their muscle mass, you're eating their muscle mass, it's being consumed by you. And there you go. So that's where we store our toxins, especially in our fat. So if you're eating the flesh of an animal, there you go. You have the storage of those toxins that they consumed in there, and you're consuming them too. So this is why, as much as possible, eating organic and grass-fed, free range, and wild caught would be the thing for chicken and pork. Number 7, keep indoor plants. So not only do they consume carbon dioxide, but they absorb and reduce levels of air pollution, volatile organic compounds, VOCs that are emitted from indoor furniture, even like plastics there's plastics in this RV, in the things that they made the furniture out of. Carpeting is a really big VOC, a polluter. So, these are just like particles that are just floating around in the air in your homes, right? So having indoor plants helps filter these and pull them out of the air. Plants such as the peace lily, Boston fern, aloe vera, and bamboo all have a higher level of a VOC filtering effect. Increasing your toxin elimination activities. So we understand that we have toxins in us. They do get stored in our bodies, right? They don't just come in and go right out, right? Because of the toxin load, our body can only handle processing so much. So there are some activities you can do in order to hasten this and get some toxins out of your body. So exercise, of course, which is a big one, right? And especially if you have like a history of exposure, or you have jobs like every day that you do where you're exposed to these chemicals, like hairdressers, painters, cleaners, miners, metal workers, mechanics, aeronautical. So you are exposed to a lot of these things more than maybe a typical, people just doing their regular jobs. Exercise, of course. It's a part of, that elimination, the sweating, right? You're detoxing with that. Dry skin brushing is another detox. Don't just, randomly get a brush and just start brushing yourself. There's a very specific way to do it. So look that up, because there's a way where you have to go in a certain direction, certain patterns to not, cause, actually you're moving the toxins in the wrong direction. So really, the key is away from your heart. Right? You want them away from your heart. You want them away from your central system. Dry sauna, red light therapy, cold plunge, and skin wraps are all powerful detox tools. So, if you have, access to a dry sauna, then great, use it frequently. Red light therapy, cold plunge, and a skin wrap. So skin wraps, you could be kind of a DIY thing where you buy a non-toxic, please. Don't just go to Ulta and just buy a random, body scrub or body mask. Get a non-toxic version. You can, stand in the shower and just, let it absorb and then wash it off, or go to, a spa where they can use a non-toxic skin wrap or mask and, let everything kind of get out of your system. Oh, I should have put in here Epsom salt baths are a great detox as well. Massage as well as another tool. So that's a way to stimulate your lymphatic and blood circulation. Number 9, EMF, screens of light pollution. Yes, light is a pollutant too. It is toxic. It sends the wrong signals to our bodies about what time of the day it is. It turns on pathways and stress hormones that should be off. It turns off pathways of detox that should be on. From around 10 p.m. to 2 a.m., at night, our bodies are supposed to be in a mode called rest and digest. And a part of this cycle is called autophagy. So autophagy is basically when your body, all your little cells in your body are going around gathering up the trash that got piled up all day from all the cell processes, and then they dispose of it. So this is the way that your body takes out the trash. All the individual cells in your body takes out the trash, the toxins. Well, guess what? Because we spend so much less time in autophagy because of light exposure keeping these processes turned off when they're supposed to be on, and then not being asleep during those critical hours, the cells begin to get your trash piled up, and which interferes with how well the cells can function. Because if you have trash piled up everywhere, if you imagine if you had in your room that you're at now, you had trash piled up all over the place, it'd be pretty damn hard to move around and do your normal shit, right? That's what happens in a cell. They see it happening. They know this is happening. And basically it creates a toxic cellular environment, which can lead to some catastrophic breakdowns. All right. And then next, be vigilant. So get rid of it and keep it out. So detox isn't just temporary. And that's what I hate about these detox diets or cleanses. It implies a temporary commitment. And that is total bullshit, right? You're not getting any benefits from that. Most people just do these cleanses and detoxes and then go right back to what they were doing before. So be smart about this. If you're going to detox, do it right. You need to be vigilant about it. It needs to be incremental. It needs to improve over time. And you have to be vigilant about not letting toxins just replace the ones that you got rid of, right? I was just talking to my husband today about, he got, I don't know, some drink. And, I was like, why is it pink? Shouldn't be pink. And I was like, does it have red dye in it? Like, you have to be vigilant because these things can just sneak right back in. So, there will be times that are out of your control that you're exposed to toxins. That's just a given, right? I mean, anytime I go into, like a Target or Walmart, I feel the toxin load already, like from just the the lights in there and all the people with their colognes and then all the toxic plastic in there and then all the smelly things. I feel sick. I get in and out as fast as possible because I literally feel sick walking around these stores because there's so many toxins in there. My body can't even handle that exposure. So it's out of my control. If I got to go to the store and get something, I need to get it. But, so in order to counter these moments, you have to be vigilant every day about what you can control in order to keep your toxic load as low as possible, right? So it's happening, it's real, it's here, it's a part of our everyday life, but there are things under your control where you can control your toxin load. Go to the blog for the references and the links to some of the products that I talked about. Download that EWG app, ewg.org, so you can learn what non-toxic products are that are approved that you can order. Or if you're in a store, you scan things, and guess what? If it doesn't get the thumbs up from EWG, I don't buy it. So that's how vigilant I am about this. So that's where I'm at because I know this is just a part of the world we live in, so I'm going to control what I can. And I definitely feel so much better because of it. And I feel like my hormones over the last decade of doing this have really improved and reset. And some of the things that I was suffering from before, with like the skin irritation and the allergies and, rosacea and acne, I no longer have because I'm not using these toxic products anymore, right? And that was my first step. My first step was an esthetician telling me after I had problems with my skin, and I've been to dermatologists for 10 years, and finally one of them said, I think you have a sulfate allergy. And everybody has a sulfate allergy. It's a toxin. That's the problem. So when I did that and saw a remarkable improvement in my skin issues that I just thought were genetic and that I just had, were a part of my life, had been caused just by this one specific toxin, I was like, I wonder what other toxins I can get rid of. So I started from there. So, it's been a long road for me, but it's been so worth it over time, to just be vigilant about this and to reduce our toxic load as much as possible in our household and control for what we can control for. So check out the blog. I'm going to drop the link below in the comments. Hopefully this was helpful. Let me know if it was, and if you have any questions.